Hi, welcome back to the Money, Wine and Cheese Club TV. My name is Sarah, and as always, I'm here to talk about all things money and life. And today is no different. So, last week I talked about my favorite budgeting method, and today I want to talk to you about a very, very simple way that you can budget if you found that the zero-based budget was too much for you. You just felt overwhelmed. So stick with me until the end, because these are very, very simple steps, and you can start today, and it doesn't cost anything, and you are going to see results very, very soon. So let's get started. Today I want to talk to you about the 60-30-10 rule method. What is it? This is a very simple way of budgeting, and it's very easy to follow. 60 is the percentage of your income that goes towards your living expenses. 30 is the amount that goes towards your wants, and 10% of your income is what you're going to save or pay extra on your debt. Now, this budget is especially good for us women. Yes, I include myself in there. That, maybe we never budgeted in our life. I'm 50 years old, and if I had to start budgeting, I understand that it would be very overwhelming for me. So I get it. It can be very overwhelming, especially if we never budgeted before. If our partner was in charge of our budget forever and now we just want to learn about it, or maybe we don't have that partner anymore and we need to take control of our money, our finances. We want to know where we are. This method is taking all the overwhelm and anxiety that you can feel around the budget. It's a budget that doesn't give you that sense that you are pinching pennies, or that you are missing out, or that you are, like you barely have enough to eat. It's not about that. It's a budget that covers your basic living expenses, and then you are free to do with the rest of the money whatever you want. So without further ado, let's get started. Like I said, the 60-30-10 rule method is not about feeling deprived. It's about giving you a clear and easy to use roadmap for your own money. It makes sure that your basics are covered, that you have a little money for your wants, and you can still save or pay extra on your debt. And that way, you can start living the life you really want to live, because you can choose where to spend your money. Whether you want to travel, save for retirement, or just pay off some debt that's been lingering, it's this simple to get started. Okay, so I'm going to break it down step by step, and these are very easy steps for you to follow. There's nothing fancy about it. You don't need fancy apps or programs or Google Sheets or whatever. All you need is a piece of paper and, why not a budget planner? I have one actually that is really, really very beginner friendly. I'll leave the link in the description box, or if you go to my bio, you can see it there as well. Let's set this budget up for you right now. Grab that piece of paper. First of all, let's figure out what your income is. How much money is coming into your household every week, every 2 weeks, or every month, however it works for you. Okay, so just for this example, let's say that you make $3,000. This $3,000 can be just your paycheck, easy. Or if you have a side hustle that you're making a little extra money, if you have a rental, if you have child support, if you have a pension, whatever it is, you add them all together, and that is your income. It should all go in the same pile, okay? And that's what's going to give you your total, which for now is $3,000. Step number 2, you go to your income and you allocate 60% of that amount to your living expenses. Now, in this case, our income, is $3,000, and 60% of $3,000 is $1,800, and that is going to cover our basic living expenses. And what is in there? Rent, mortgage, utilities, food, transportation, insurance, credit cards, loans, everything needs to come out of those 60%. Okay? Your minimum payments for all your credit cards, your loans, car loan, personal loan, whatever, if you have anything of that going on, it needs to all come from those 60%. Okay? Step number 3, you are going to allocate 30% of your income to your wants. In this case, 30% of $3,000 are $900, and that is going to cover our wants. What is our wants? Anything from restaurants to clothes, to streaming services, to the cinema, to coffee, to a book, a magazine, anything that you don't need as your basic living necessities, it's a want, okay? So everything goes in this category. And it's important that you have a want category so that you don't feel deprived, that you don't feel that you're missing out or that you don't have a life, like we say sometimes, okay? So it's important that you have this category there. And step number 4, you are going to take your 10% from $3,000 in our case, which will be $300, to save or pay extra on your debt. Okay, this 10% is $300. If you have no debt, you can just start saving for an emergency fund. We need one. We can call it whatever we want. I call it my Get Rich Fund because each time it gets to a certain amount, I grab it and I put it into my savings, and that's how I'm gonna get rich, you know. But until I have that amount, it stays there because if anything happens, the car breaks down, I need a new washing machine, whatever it is, I've got that money so that I don't grab a credit card. So if you don't have an emergency fund, you can start there. Maybe you want to travel and you want to start a traveling fund. You can allocate some of those 10% to that fund. But if you have debt, and here, like with any other budgeting method, I do incentivize you to really pay off the debt first, because there's a lot of interest rate that's going into it, and I talked a lot about it in another video, so I'll leave the link in the description box as well, because I go over the interest rates and how much of a difference there is when you pay minimum on a credit card and when you add an extra $100. So go and watch that because it's really, really good. I do encourage you to pay the debt first and then start your savings however you want to distribute it. Be it a savings account, be it an emergency fund, be it a travel fund, a Christmas fund, whatever it is for your retirement fund, whatever it is, create that and be consistent with that. Because remember, your wants are covered and your living expenses are covered, so this 10% should really be allocated either to paying off debt or your savings. Now, let's say that 60% is not enough for your living expenses. I know groceries are just over the roof, the prices are crazy, and you just can't. Well, you need to dip into your wants fund and try to make it work. Now, you either go over your categories, your insurance, your utilities, and see if you can bring down any of those. If not, then you need to grab some extra money from your wants category, and instead of 60, you probably have 70 for your living expenses and 20 for your wants, okay? But this is something that you can adjust later on. This is like the 60-30-10. It's a great way for you to have an idea where you're at and if it works for you or not. So why do I think that this method is great for women just like me and probably just like you? When we hit our 50s, and I talk about this, I mean, this can apply to any age, but I see a lot of young people here talking about getting out of debt and creating budgets and saving, and that are millionaires when they're by 29. That's all great and awesome. I do not identify myself with those people. That's not just how it worked for me. I'm not saying it's not working for them. Awesome for on them for doing that. For me, it did not work like that. And for me, I need to work on my budget and on my money and on everything every day. Otherwise, it gets out of control. So for someone like me that is going through big changes in life, either you're an empty nester or you're, making room for that life that you never got the chance to have because you absolutely needed to work that job to bring money to help your family. If you're taking care of someone, a parent, if you want to travel, this, I feel that in our 50s, this is when life changes a lot. And I don't know about you, but I'm just ready to take it easy, to just do what I want, to just live life the way that I want. Because when I was 25, nobody told me that it was a possibility for me. I was always told that we needed to work. Work was not fun. That's just the way it is. But you just do it and then you complain and then you spend your weekend dreading Monday. That's how it is for everybody. And to reach my 50s and realize that that's actually not true. And there was a way I could have done it. Now, I can be hard on myself and beat myself up saying, hey, you should have done different. Or I can just, hey, that's what I knew. I did the best I could with what I had. Now that I know better, I'm going to do better, right? That's really why I think this is a great method for us, because we don't have to get into the nitty-gritty of the cents and the dollars and whatever. We just need to have that big picture and we know our percentages. And that is a game changer. That really helps a lot. And that's why I do what I do. I create all this kind of content so that you, my everyday woman, know that you have other options and that you can start today. Because guess what? A year will come by very quickly. And you can either look back and see, wow, I made all that progress. Or you can look back and say, hey, if I started a year ago, maybe I would be in a different place. So that's why I really encourage you to start. And this is like the plan with the least resistance. It really is. You just have to start there. You just have to know your percentages of your income and go from there. There's really nothing more to it. I talk especially if you believe that budgeting is really not for you. You were never good with money. You don't know how to do it. I mean, this is just... You just start. That's it. You can even just follow what I said during those steps and you'll be fine. So grab a cup of coffee or a tea or a glass of wine. No judgment here. And a pen and a piece of paper. And just start. Start creating that life that you know you deserve and that you want to live. But for that you need to organize your money. It can be fun. It can be whatever you want it to be. It depends on the energy, or it depends on the attitude you have towards it. It can be dreadful, it can be awful, or it can be awesome and hey, fun. So yeah, I hope you feel inspired to do it, because it will change your life. Especially, again, if you think this is something that you just can't do. It's just not for you. I'm telling you, it is. And you can start today. And I'd love to hear from you in a couple of months, just to know how your life has changed. Hey, thank you so much for being with me today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps the channel and it allows more amazing women like you to discover these tips. See you in the next video. Bye.